raining back there?
Yep. There's seems to be some liquid on the hood of the tractor.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a bit of an emergency right now. We're trying to help Dave get ready for a graduation party. If you've ever prepared for your daughter's graduation party, you know that everything surrounding it's an emergency. Unfortunately, just as we get here to start to mow, it's sprinkling rain. We may not be able to help on this emergency at all. Emergency or not, I've got to have my ISOtunes.
It's thundering too.
My thinking is, or was, that I could run over this pasture with this TS10, set at a fairly low setting today, and come back in 3 or 4 days with our 12-foot turf batwing and make it look like a yard. We'll see. If I can't get this done today, that may foil those plans. There's not enough days left. I'd say it looks pretty good after this cutting. If it doesn't rain anymore, that's going to be good. I forgot I was a 10-foot mower instead of the 12-foot mower I've been using in my yard. I've got to overlap a little bit more, I guess. I think I'll take off and mow it this way.
I'm gonna get wet.
Our friends Dave and Hannah own 16 acres here. There's no house on the property yet. They'd like to build one at some point. Of course, you all know what's going on with inflation and especially with lumber prices. Meanwhile, the neighbor is using this as a hayfield.
It's thundering heavy now.
They mowed it and took up the hay several weeks ago. I really don't know how long now, but probably at least 3 to 4 weeks ago. As you can see, it's growing again really well at this point and probably about a foot tall. If it weren't for the party, they would just let it grow up again and be able to take a nice second cutting fairly soon.
Should we just wait under the barn for a few minutes?
We might do, or I might just park this thing back here and leave it. Could come back up here without, and leave it here. I mean, I don't guess I need it if it's going to be raining. 5 minutes after we got started yesterday, it rained out. Rained out. So we're back this evening to see if we can finish this up. A brush mower. Yeah, it's not quite as good as a finish mower, but it's pretty good for a brush mower.
kind of hate it, but I'm gonna have to go out there in the sun. It's in the 90s, and it's later of an evening.
It's so humid here that even late in the evening, we still have moisture in the grass. And the sun's been out all day long. It's been hot.
Oops. I have to put the rocks down.
Here, but there's just not enough room. I'm going to have to cut another swath for end rows.
I believe this is our 4th season with the TS10. Honestly, I've not been very kind to it. I've pushed it over the biggest brush that I can get it to go over. I haven't put that many hours on it, but the hours I have put on it have been, well, pretty rough. I suppose it deserves the break it's getting today. This is a nice mowing job. Pretty easy for it. I really like this mower. My favorite part is that it can be pulled with such a small tractor. You've seen us run it on the 2038R, a 37 engine, 30 PTO horsepower, and for conditions like today's, the 2038R would have been great.
I really like the looks of this. I think it's doing a great job cutting, and I think we waited about the right amount of time. Yeah, I like it.
There's nothing like mowing with a hydrostatic tractor. It's so nice to be able to slow down and speed up as you wish. You can see that I'm speeding up out here, and then when I get to this critical trimming here, I can slow down, do a good job, and then move right on. Much more flexibility than a gear drive tractor.
Experience with the 3046R on this TS10. In this kind of mowing, it's got plenty of horsepower. We've got one viewer who says he has a TS12 on his 3046R, and if this is the kind of cutting he's doing, I can believe it.
If I had 10 or 12 acres or maybe even more and I didn't want to use it for hay, I think this might be a good way to maintain it. Mow it, say, once per month, allow it to get about this tall, and then cut it back down, and it's kind of a good compromise between a yard and just letting it grow up like hay. Mowing such a large area every week with a finish mower can be a lot of work, a big commitment over the course of the whole season. An approach like this would reduce that work dramatically, and yet still provide a nice looking field. If you'll notice, the outside wheels of this mower are right at the outside of the cutting surface. If I'm cutting in a ditch or several different contours, I really like that. But I don't like it as much when I'm going around a tree like this. If I try to cut that corner, the wheel can end up hitting the tree and scraping the bark off. This is the first mower I've had with chains on the front and back side. I really like the chains on the rear, of course for the safety issue, but they also allow the material to escape more easily than a fixed steel cover on the back end. You've seen a lot of times where folks have actually taken a cutting torch or otherwise taken off that steel protective cover on the back side. So far I find the safety chains to be the best compromise between safety and allowing the cut material out of the deck. For this tree, I had to stay out a little bit wide because the limbs just stuck out so far. This view illustrates how the mower doesn't follow the tractor directly when you're in a turn. For mowing and trimming purposes, I much prefer this, at least in most situations, to a 3-point mower. Look how close I'm able to mow to that tree without getting the tractor within 12 feet of it. It does take some practice to learn how far your mower is going to extend toward the inside when you turn, and that makes the project fun to me. The same pre-planning is required when you turn back into a straight pass like this one.
I'd say this is about the perfect new tractor to run with this TS10. Now why do I say new? And why isn't it just the perfect tractor overall? Well, one approach to using one of these larger mowers is to buy an older tractor. Say a tractor from the 1980s, 1990s. It'll cost you a lot less up front and it'll cost you less per hour to operate. Now, if you were doing only mowing, get the cab. But I've really enjoyed the open station for the more flexible than the cab version. Of course, yeah, it's hot tonight. To judge the corners when it doesn't follow you directly, say to go around those trees. But that's half of the fun, is learning that. And once you get onto it, you can do pretty well. The same kind of issue applies when you're turning at the end as to how to turn back into it to make sure you get just the right amount. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I guess different people have different kinds of fun, huh? One more round. I think it's really going to be more of the same here this evening. I've got probably another, I don't know, 5-6 acres to mow here. Real happy with how this is working. I don't see any reason for Christy to have to stay around. I'm sure she's got other stuff she'd rather be doing this evening.
Like editing.
Ha! Anyway, if possible, we're going to try to come back with a finish mower and see if we can mow this down and make it look like a yard. That would be 3 or 4 days from now, the day before the party. Meanwhile, the family that's actually having and hosting the party is cleaning out that old barn. That's a much bigger job than mowing here, I promise you. So, yeah, I wish them well. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. I love this 3046R on the TS10. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.
They celebrate your abundant goodness and joyfully sing of your righteousness.